What's going on? MacGyver Man here, and welcome to part 3 of my Resident Evil Let's Play. So last time we completed the guardhouse. We defeated Plant 42, met with Barry, met with Wesker, and got a key to explore the rest of the mansion.
This is Jill. Brad? It's broken.
Kudos to Brad for continuing to try to pick us up. And so now we need to make our way back. Took care of the Cerberuses earlier. The return trip to the mansion is one of the best parts. It's a lot more difficult on the second run through than it was on the first. But still no problem with Jill. In this game, Jill's considered the easy mode. She has 8 item slots and gets the bazooka, which Chris doesn't have access to. Enter the Hunters. These guys can be a real pain in the ass, but I don't think they're as bad as everyone pretends they are. They can do some serious damage to you and even kill you outright, though. Magnum rounds. We don't have a Magnum yet, but it'll be good for later. And the Doom Book 1. You check inside the Doom Book. There's a medal. Eagle medal in this case. Not really sure why it's called the Doom Book. You can hear the steps that the hunters take. Plan out where they are. And how nice of Barry left some ammo for us. Alright, let's see. Shotgun shells. Not gonna need this for a while. Magnum rounds. And I'd say that should be good. More acid rounds. I actually think I'll take those. So if you take a look at the map, you can see the different rooms that we haven't checked out yet. So you can kind of use this to plan where you need to go with your newfound key. I know that I've played this game through someone who's experienced with it. But the map can really be helpful if you're just starting out or just getting into the Resident Evil series. And you start with the earlier game. Yet again, we have to fight Jan. Your first fight, you don't actually have to fight him. You can just run by and pick up the crest and then get out of there. But I like to fight him on both times. Acid rounds are always good against him. And he's done. It's like they just melt into purple goop on the floor.
Jill, have you found anything interesting?
Yes, but I can't see very well.
How about going down to check by yourself? I have a rope here.
Oh, do you? Well, then I'll try to go down using the rope.
Wait.
Hey, what's going on?
Now I've done it. Sorry, Jill. Wait. I'll go and get another rope.
Barry? Barry?
So this part is really important for one of the endings. I used to play this game with my buddy Alan pretty much like once a month. And it took us forever to figure out how you actually do the right set of events to save Barry. It's not super intuitive. If you wait, he comes back.
Hey! Are you there, Jill? Grab the rope!
And we literally figured it out just by talking about the Yawn fight while we were sitting down in this hole, and he just showed back up.
Sorry, Jill.
I didn't know that was going to happen.
Sorry. I was really careless.
Are you okay, Barry? Maybe you're getting tired.
No, I'm all right. Don't worry. Jill, I found something.
Thank you. I'll take this then.
So since we waited for him, he gave us the passcode that we can use at a different part of the mansion. If we didn't wait for him, we could have pressed that switch and then went down into the basement through that tombstone. Make sure I have everything that I want. Put away this. We've got a huge stockpile of healing items now. So if you noticed, all of the hunters, they give you a brief window before they just start attacking you. Dogs in this hallway are replaced by the giant spiders, which are a lot easier to run past. They basically replaced the zombies in every room with the hunters. So it's important that you figure out how you want to traverse. get to where you need to go with the least amount of fighting. That's it. Those are the only doors we need to use the key on. I didn't realize wasn't topped off at full health. Alright, orders. The top secret orders from July 22nd. To the head of security department. X day is approaching. Complete the following orders within the week. Lure the member of STARS into the lab and have them fight with the BOW in order to obtain data of actual battles. Like 2 embryos per BOW type, making sure to include all species except for Tyrant. Not sure what Tyrant is yet. Destroy the Arkley lab, including all researchers and lab animals, in a manner which will seem accidental. From White Umbrella. Seems like a subsidiary of Umbrella Pharmaceuticals. Second time we've come around Magnum rounds. And more shotgun shells, which can always come in handy. Now we've obtained the red jewel. If you remember back in part 1, there was a statue of a tiger that had both a red and a blue eye missing. I'll grab another healing item just in case. See, at least with Jill, the hunters aren't terrible. Especially if you know where they all are. Where the hell am I going? Use the red jewel and the tiger statue. And we get the Magnum that we have been collecting ammo for. The Colt Python, called in this game. Same gun that Barry has, which pretty much will one-shot every regular enemy. That's why it's funny that the zombie in the first cutscene takes 3 shots from it. Don't need the Magnum for now. And this is the door that we use the passcode on. Chris doesn't get this. Ugh. Could have been bad. Stock up on our grenade rounds. and a battery. I straight up tell you where you need to go to use it, because at least in this playthrough, I don't even think I went and looked at that elevator. But if you're exploring, you figure it out. So I said the first time that I beat this game was I beat it on the DualShock version. Now the DualShock version was the second re-release. They had the original game on PS1. Then they had the director's cut, which added a couple different layouts for the mansion, different camera angles, but it also had the original version of the game. And then it added a beginner mode so that you could pick up twice the amount of ammo. We don't want this. And then the third release was the DualShock version, which basically the director's cut, but they changed the soundtrack. It's talking about the animal attacks in the Arklay Mountains you saw in the opening cutscene. We have another puzzle in this room. It's super easy. You figure this out by hitting the switch, and it literally lights up a square. And this gets you the first disc. Discs are super important for getting the good ending. Go check out down here. You don't have to come down here as Jill at all. And this is the basement of the mansion. So in pretty much every Resident Evil video online, they talk about how the soundtrack was changed in the DualShock version, how terrible it was. And they show the song from The Basement, which isn't the best song, not gonna lie. However, with Jill, you don't even have to come down here. And with Chris, you come down here for 45 seconds at max. And the rest of the soundtrack, in my opinion, is pretty good in the DualShock version. One of my favorite tracks is when you come back to the mansion. And it has this cool little beat playing, and in place of the remixed first time that you come through the mansion in this game. That's all that we need from the second trip to the mansion. Once you get the battery, you can head back out and continue on. As you saw, if you know what you're doing, the hunters really don't pose much of a threat. Chris has a little bit more of a difficult time since he doesn't get access to the bazooka, which most bazooka rounds can kill the hunters in one hit. Chris also has a few more enemies in some of the rooms that you have to deal with. But I'll try to show off something on the way out of the mansion where you don't even really have to fight the hunters. You kind of know the trick to deal with them. Get what we need for the next part of the game. We don't need Modisc for now. Also put away the Magnum rounds. We don't really need that for now either. This should be good. Now, once again, most of these tips are helpful if you're already familiar with the game. But if you want to check out what you can do with the hunters, they're left-handed. As long as you run around the right side of them, they really can't do anything to you. Gonna be our third and final time running around in the courtyard. And I forgot something. Of course. Like I said, it's almost not a Resident Evil playthrough if you don't forget something. Luckily, there's a save room close by in the guardhouse, so not a big deal. If remember, the way to raise and lower the water in the courtyard is the crank. So, we need it. There's a lot of trial and error involved in this game. You wouldn't necessarily think of that if this was your first time playing it. That's where the battery goes. Didn't come over here earlier on. You can also get the map of the courtyard here. Map of the garden. When we lower the dam and refill the pool with water, that opens up another passage on the lower levels. So, on the first version of the game that I played, the rental from Music Forum, it was a long box version. Like I said, we didn't have a memory card at the time. We actually went and bought one from Walmart just to play this game. But this is as far as I ever got. This ladder, whenever you would try to go down it, the game would freeze. Seeing as it was a rental and it was kind of scratched up. So, for about 2 years of my childhood, I never saw past that ladder.
Oh, Jill, what good timing. A moment ago I heard someone's voice coming from this hole. Let's go together since it's dark and we can't see very well.
This is also a very important decision. Barry wouldn't even be here if we didn't wait for him to drop the rope back at the yawn fight.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, then I'm gonna cover you. Let's hurry. Hey, are you all right? I can go first if you want me to.
So, if you either don't have him go with you, or tell him to go first,
Okay, let's go, Barry. I'm depending on you.
you won't be able to save him. You have to do it in that specific order.
Is that Jill?
Is that voice Enrico's?
Yeah?
You're alive!
Wait there! Are you with anybody, Jill?
What? Oh, yes.
Enrico!
So, Barry and Jill together.
Are you all right, Enrico?
The stars are doomed. Someone is a traitor. Everything was plotted from the start by Umbrella. Ha!
Enrico!
So Enrico is the captain of the Stars Bravo team. He figured out that someone was a traitor. First we've heard of that. Now, might have some suspicions about some of the characters in this game. But for now, we'll pick up the second crank. Might get confusing because this crank is hexagonal. And then the original one is square. Now, I don't really know why they needed two cranks in this game, outside of the fact that it stops you from using the square crank. So you show off the left-handed dodge again. Pretty stylish way to get around them. So every other time you need to use the crank in the game, it's going to be the hexagonal crank. Unless for some reason you forgot something and decided to go back. Build a pool up for some reason. I don't know why you would do that. Flame rounds. At least with Jill, the game kind of gives you hints of what sort of weapon you're about to want to use, depending on the grenade rounds that you pick up. Black Tiger. One shot and he's down. That's because I equipped the flame rounds right before fighting him. Otherwise, he would have taken a few more rounds. It's a good video game logic. Enter and exit the room and all those little spiders just disappeared. And the save room in the catacombs. You do get poisoned by the spider. There's a blue herb in here. It's helpful. Let's see. Do a little bit of inventory management. Take the eagle medal. I'll actually put away those green herbs as well. Alright, this is gonna do it for episode 3. Next time, we'll finish off the game with Jill. Alright, until next time.